Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of Palantir Technologies, ticker symbol PLTR, which closed the week on February 2nd at a price of $17.02, being up about 4% on the day, just a little bit over, and going up a little more than 1% in the after hours. Before a pretty big day coming up on Monday, February 5th, which is when Palantir reports earnings in the after hours. And I will be streaming the webcast, which will be at 5 p.m. Eastern. I might start the stream a little bit earlier than that, just so we can look at the charts, catch up, and go over, what they're talking about in the webcast. So do join if you'd like to partake in that. Should be pretty fun. But for this video, I'm just going to be going over the chart, following up on the video that I did last Monday, which is typically when I do Palantir videos. And so that Monday, when I covered the stock, it did go up about 4.5% on that day, and it looks like it was rejected from the level of $17.12, right around the 236 Fibonacci retracement there. And I did go over all of these levels in last week's video. And so on that Monday, the high of the day was $17.11, so just below that Fibonacci level. And because it did look like there had been, I believe, on the weekly time frame, there was this bearish engulfing candle. And so I had suspected that there might be a pullback. And so we did get that just a couple days after. On Wednesday, January 31st, we actually got a pullback below this uptrending level of support that I had identified, which was really just based on a couple touch points here, not too much there. So I was actually a little concerned that was not going to be acting as support, but on Friday did close well above that, being up, like I said, more than 4% on the day. So that does look pretty strong. Also, I do want to note that following last earnings, which came out on November 2nd, price went up more than 20% following earnings. And so if we do consider that, looking at the current price of $17.02, and we take a measurement from there up 20%, that would bring price up to right around this Fibonacci level at $20.53. So I do think price could be skyrocketing up pretty high following earnings like it did before when it gapped up. However, following the earnings, it did create this gap to the downside. And so based on the high on November 1st, so the day before those earnings were released, price was at, a high of $14.96. So returning to right around $15, marked by this blue line here. So that gap has yet to be filled. So while it could be going up 20% to the 786 up here, it could also be going down to $15. So I do think that is something to consider. But with this big green candle before earnings, and us getting this close at $17.02, I do think that suggests the stock is strong going into earnings. So I don't think that we will be filling this gap, but it is quite possible that will happen. And so I do want to go over a couple other Fibonacci retracements. Well, I did do this one coming to the downside that I do think suggests levels that might act as resistance moving higher. I do think that it would be nice to do a couple other retracements to kind of highlight where we found support over here. And so one of those retracements is going from the low here just before earnings up to the high here. And so from that retracement, we can see that the 786 is at a price of $16.06, which coincides pretty nicely with this red line that I've drawn at $16. It does appear that price did break below that level briefly on January 5th. However, that was just the only day that price really resided below that level, and that does seem to have acted as support then, as well as this period with these three wicks coming down, as well as over the past week. So $16 does seem like a pretty key level. And if I do another retracement from the low here to the high up here, we can see that the 786 for this retracement is right around $16 as well, at $16.24, which does appear to have acted as support over the past week. So I do think that we did see a pretty nice bottom here, and that does suggest to me that price could be moving higher, going up to these levels, such as the 382 at $18.02, which was previously tested on January 22nd. So I do think that could be a nice target following earnings, if not going above $20, like taking another 20% move up to $20.53. And so I do think it's going to be a pretty exciting week for Palantir, especially with the webcast, which I will be streaming here at 5 p.m. Eastern on Monday. So make sure you join that. And, if you enjoyed my thoughts, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching.